So we'll go with the chapter 1. What is the name of this? It's called as electric charges and fields, right? So the name is so big, but we'll try to dissect it and understand what exactly they're trying to speak about. Okay. So before I talk about this chapter alone, what I would suggest is look at the name of the next chapter also. No? Maybe you can look at the name of the next 2 chapters. Can you tell me what they are? Electric charges and fields is the first chapter. Second chapter is electrostatic potential and capacitance. And what is the third chapter all about? Current electricity. See, in your 10th grade, what was the name of the 12th chapter that you have learned? It is, you are right, it is electricity, right? But what are they using? What is the prefix they are using here? Why is that prefix coming? So to understand that answer, right, we need to understand how the first 2 chapters are differentiating from the third chapter. Right? So shall we get started with that? See, as I told you, this is the first chapter's name. The second chapter's name is electrostatic potential and capacitance. Okay, this capacitance is something similar to I'll not say similar, something which can be understood like how you understood resistance. You know what is resistance, right? It's for a resistor. Similarly, capacitance is for a device called as capacitor, about which we'll deal later. Okay. So this is the second chapter, and here we are using the word current electricity. So I would like to connect these 3 because the 4th chapter, if you see, it is called as moving charges and magnetism. So there we are going to a completely different branch. Okay. So let's understand this. As I told you, we'll first dissect the name and see. Here, if you see the first word, electric. So when you see the word electric, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Amazon Prime's logo. So they both are connected terms, right? So when you talk about charges, okay, I'll come to that. So here we have something called as electric charge and this word. What is this word field? Let's try to understand from a basic perspective. It is an area, right? It's some region where you are able to sense something or see something, right? So this is what we are going to concentrate upon, right? To make you understand what this field is, this field has a specific prefix before it called as electric field. This is how we relate it. So for you to understand this, let's take this example. So I have this in my hand. Can you give me the science explanation behind why is this able to get suspended in the air? How is it able to stand in the air? Like here it is there, no? Something is actually trying to pull it, but something is stopping it, right? Can you give me the science behind it? If you try to draw a free body diagram, right, can you tell me what are the forces acting on this? So it has a mass. So due to its own mass, it will have a weight. The gravitational force acting in the downward direction. So who's stopping it? This is where you are making a mistake. What is happening here? The friction, right? Simple. So when it is trying to move down, had there been an unbalanced force, this would have started moving in the downward direction. But I kept my fingers here and I started interlocking them. Am I right? You know what is interlocking, right? My finger has fingerprints which are irregular. Here there is some irregularity. I'm holding it. Right? There is a frictional force acting in the upward direction here and here. So this mg is balanced by 2 frictional forces which are acting in the upward direction. As simple as that. Right? If I release it, what will happen? There will be an unbalanced force due to which it starts moving in the downward direction. Right? So if I ask you to write the same context in a theoretical manner, what will you say? Weight is the force, weight is the unbalanced force which was pulling this object in the downward direction, right? So can I put the statement like this? This was experiencing a force in a region around it where there is a gravitational pull. It's the same story, but I'm just trying to express it in a different way. So what am I trying to say? This object is experiencing a force in a region. So there is a region here in which what is present? Gravitation is present, as simple as that. So can I say that there is a region around this which is called as gravitational field, in which an object of mass m that is placed is experiencing a force of mg, which you technically call it as weight. Are you able to connect the dots? In a similar way, like how you have gravitational field, in your 10th grade you would have learned about magnetic field. In a similar way, you know, gravitational and magnetic, we have something called as electric field. So, to put it very simple, in this chapter, we are going to understand three things. What are charges? What are the properties of charges? And what are the different kinds of charges? And what are the fields generated around it? Are you able to understand? So, for all those things, we need to use a little bit of mathematics to understand. But all the mathematical definitions and everything, I'll tell you how to remember them. So focus on it. I'll be asking questions there. Okay. So first, this electric charges and fields we are trying to speak now. This chapter and this chapter fall under an important branch of physics. Can you guess what is the name of the branch? There is a hint on the board itself. So the branch of physics under which these two chapters fall is called as electrostatics. So what we'll do is we'll break this word into two parts. Electro refers to charges. Statics refers to rest. Right? So if I am able to combine these two terms, what can I call it as? So if you are able to deal with a branch which is completely concerned only about the electric charges which are at rest, you can call that kind of a branch as electrostatics. But for you to discuss electrostatics, what is important? You need a charge. So the first thing that we need to understand is what is charge. Right. So shall we go to that basic, try to understand? Right, you want to make a note of this? Just make a short note, okay? You're clear? So I'll come to this point. I'll tell you what it is. Okay, as of now, make a note of this part. Electrostatics is a branch of physics which deals with the charges at rest. So electrostatics is a branch of physics which deals with the charges at rest. Right? So now shall we try to understand what exactly charges are? Right?